Hello viewers, you are watching OBN Horn of Africa, our weekly program Invest in Ethiopia. Today we will be discussing economic reforms being undertaken in Ethiopia over the past 5 years. To discuss these issues, I joined by Mr. Gulula Tababa, General Manager of Adama Special Economic Zone. Till the end of our program, stay tuned. Mr. Gulula, thank you for joining us. First, would you brief us on the economic policy Ethiopia is following under the leadership of Prosperity Party in the last 5 years?
Thank you for coming and having some discussion with us. So my name is Gulula Tababa. I'm the General Manager for Adama Special Economic Zone. So we already changed our name from the Adama Industrial Park to Adama Special Economic Zone to match our workers, our operation with the macroeconomic we have today. Truly speaking, for the last 3-4 decades, our economic policy was closed economic policy, as you know. So because of the closed economic policy, we can say we almost lost so many foreign direct investments. Most international countries have like open economic policy, but our economic policy was too closed economic policy. Because of this, so many foreign direct investment have no interest to like come and then invest in our countries. But for the last 5-6 years, we can see so many changes because of the Ethiopian Prosperity Party having change on economic policy. Like having open economic policy means like attracting so many foreign direct investments. So these both concepts are similar because of the reform we have by Prosperity Party. We can see so many changes on the ground. We can say almost like for the last 3-4 years, we have attracted so many investors on diversified economies. Especially as our sectors are on manufacturing sector, we can see so many interests coming from different countries, especially from the Far East, like the Chinese, Taiwanese, Japanese, and so on. They have so many interests because before their perception was Ethiopia is a closed economic policy. Now the macroeconomy changes these perceptions. So this perception brings to be attractive, the country to be attractive. So the change can be seen on the ground that so many investors are attracted to the Ethiopia.
What has necessitated the change in economic policy from the one practiced for decades?
The necessity for the change of the economic policy, the primary issue is all about the change for the GDP, for the economical growth. So we can say for the economical growth, the economical policy needs to be changed from the ground. You can't change the whole thing at one time, but the macroeconomic reform, its target is all about the economic growth. So economic growth means the gross domestic product, the living standard of the citizen is going to be reformed. So economical change, the necessity for the economical change means it is the desire for the economic growth of one nation.
In your view, that the current economic policy Ethiopia is implementing conducive enough to cope up with the current global economic challenges?
Truly. So we can witness because we are in the part of the manufacturing sector, as I have said. So we can see from our sectors, the Adama Special Economic Zone, because of the reform we have in our country by Ethiopian Prosperity Party, we can say we have seen so many changes on the perception of the investors, on the economic process, on the business doing. So the reform almost brings or simplifies so many things on business doing. So easy business doing means the efficiency on the economical doing or business doing will be simplified. As you know, the global economy is on challenge. So many countries have in big recessions and big debts. But when you see Ethiopia, because of the macroeconomy, it simplifies the business doing. So we can see, because of the change on macroeconomy, we can witness these things.
5 economic pillars have been identified, and a true reform was conducted for each. Why those 5 pillars, and how do you see the fruits of those reforms?
Truly speaking, before like 5 years, we only have like 3 investors, truly speaking. 3 investors. These all investors were coming to invest on textile and garments. So after the macroeconomy is already implemented, we can say we almost attracted around 8 investors, whether it's local or from the foreign direct investments. We attracted around 7 investors, which are invested on diversified sectors. So before, most investors' perception was like they are coming to invest on garment and textile. So these industries are a light industry, we can say it's light industry, and the capital for the investment is not this much big. So everyone is coming to invest on garment and textile. Now after the macroeconomic reform, we have like a metal industry which are working with us in Adama Special Economic Zone. We have like electromechanical manufacturing sectors. We have like the construction input manufacturing sectors, obviously. So these all diversified manufacturing sectors are coming after the macroeconomic reforms. So we can say the macroeconomic reform brings so many foreign direct investments, as well as it energizes the local business as well. Truly speaking, agriculture is the basic pillars in Ethiopia, as most population are working on it. So when you see most of the evolution in different countries, they started from the agriculture. So they mechanized their agricultural process, then they transited to the manufacturing. So our sector is manufacturing, truly speaking, as well as the tourism, the ICT. These are the most preferable economic reform pillars. So the reform on manufacturing going to like make dynamic economic growth. The urbanization developments, the tourist destination, these all developments are not only like used for the tourist destination, as my perceptions. So when you're working on tourist attraction, it's not all about the tourism coming from the abroad. So when these tourists are coming, they are coming with some business ideas. So when they are coming 2 and then 3 times, they feel confident. They will change their mindsets, their perception about Ethiopia. So their perception about Ethiopia will dramatically change it, because of the ongoing tourist attraction development, the urban development. We can retain our investors' confidence. We can see from the investors' feedback. So this tourist attraction destination will use to change the perception of investors. So the perception on capacity of the Ethiopia, we can do these things. Ethiopia capable of doing these things. So this will change their perception that Ethiopia capable of doing so many things beyond. As I've said, the economic reform needs the engagement of the whole stakeholders, including the citizen like me. So otherwise we can say it can't be succeeded. So everyone needs to contribute to the reforms. Then we can see as soon as possible like the fruit of the reforms. Otherwise, if we can see and then sit here, we can't say we are going to like gain from the fruit of the economic reforms. So every private citizen including the private business owners, need to support these macroeconomic reforms, especially on developing the tourist destinations, on corridor development, which the Ethiopian Prosperity Party are working hard. So these things will going to like bring most foreign direct investments. So when this foreign direct investment or the investors are coming to the country, they believe what they are seeing on the ground. So we can brief, we can promote so many things, theoretically, but these investors' perception dramatically changed when they are going to see these tourist destinations, the corridor development, our urban development, the infrastructure on the ground. This whole thing is going to change their perceptions on Ethiopia. So in one or on other hand, the tourist destination is not only used for the tourist attraction, but it can be used to change the perception of the foreigners, including the investors as well.
The government has undertaking various initiatives, including irrigation farming, cluster farming, and bounty of baskets. What's your take on this?
So traditionally, most of agriculture it was dependent on the rain. So the rain season is all about once in a year, but the irrigation is almost changes these traditions, these cultures. So one farmer, if the farmers are using this irrigation technology, mechanized agricultural process, I think the contribution on the economic growth will be fruitful.
How do you describe the Ethiopian green economic policy?
When I start from the Adama Special Economic Zone, the green economy is a mandatory framework, truly speaking. So when we see the developed nations, now before they didn't give a big concerns on the economic or for eco-environmental issue, but when we start the Adama Special Economic Zone infrastructural development, our big concern was like the eco-friendly special economic zone. So most of the costs almost spent on the infrastructural development was used to develop the zero liquid discharge. So our zero liquid discharge is a part of the green economy, truly speaking. So zero influent is released to the environment. So zero dry waste is released, zero liquid waste is released to the environment. Everything is recycled and then used here in Adama Special Economic Zone. So starting the green economy from the scratch. So we are developing nation, we are not developed, it's known. So starting from the scratch, these concepts will further create a confidence on international stage, truly speaking. So green economy is not something for compromisation. So everyone needs to give a perception or give a priority for the green economy.
As part of the economic reform, financial reform was introduced months ago. What change will this bring to the Ethiopian economy?
As I have said, we have around 13 investors, in which mostly coming from the different nations, mostly from China, Norwegians, we have Indian companies, and then Japanese company. We almost get so many feedbacks from these investors because of the reform on financial and other macroeconomic reforms. They feel very confident, truly speaking. So this macroeconomic reform and the financial reform help us, especially on the industrial sectors. It helps us to retain our investors, and then it also helps us to push the investor to reinvest here in Ethiopia. So now their perception on reinvesting and then attracting other partners is almost increased, truly speaking, after the financial reforms. So relaxing this financial reform almost creates a dynamic and diversified investors in our special economy. Truly speaking, before the issue of the foreign exchange, the demand for foreign exchange was high, So after the financial reform or after the macroeconomic reform, this all request was, we can say it all are just answered. So the feedback we get from the investors are, it's much better before 3 or 4 years. Their demand for the foreign exchange was too high, and then they are not satisfied this much. So after the financial reform, we can say partially these all things are almost answered. So after these things are going to be implemented or further implemented, I think they are going to be satisfied 100%. Every stakeholder needs to be contributed to the macroeconomic reforms, truly speaking. It's not the issue of the government, it's not the issue of one party, truly speaking. The macroeconomic reform needs to be sustainable, it needs to be underlined. So every citizen, every business owners, every investors, so to make the sustainable, every stakeholder needs to contribute, including the citizen, the business owners, the organizations, the industries. So if everyone take their stakes and then contribute their stakes, I think the sustainability will going to be fruitful, truly speaking. Otherwise, if we leave these things to the government, it's not this much fruitful. So every citizen, every organization, every business owners need to contribute to the macroeconomy. So then, as soon as possible, these all macroeconomic reforms going to be fruitful, and every citizen going to get their stakes from the fruits we have.
What is the long vision of Adama Special Economic Zone?
Adama Special Economic Zone, as you know, it was inaugurated before 6 years by our Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed. So during the inauguration, we almost have around 19 sheds which developed by government. So developing this all 19 sheds cost around $140 million. It's not a small amount, truly speaking. It has a big infrastructure which is compatible with the international standard. So with this all 19 sheds, we take around 3 years to fill this all 19 sheds. So we almost attracted 13 investors on diversified sectors. As I've said, we have textile, garments, electromechanicals, pipe, paint manufacturing. So these all are attracted from abroad as well as from the local business owners. So in future, we almost plan to expand our manufacturing workshops as well as our capacity to attract the foreign direct investment.
Finally, if you have any message.
Ethiopian Prosperity Party's reform on macroeconomy truly is going to bring easy business doing. So being an easy business doing environment means we're going to attract so many foreign direct investments. So these all tourist destinations, the urban development, the corridor developments will going to be used to attract so many investors from the abroad. So these investors are coming, and then when they see these all developments, their perception automatically changes. So the first thing to attract investors is all about doing on the perception of the foreigners. So this all development going to change the perception of the investors. So once their perception is changed, they are going to invest confidently in Ethiopian economy, I think. So every citizen, every organization need to contribute on macroeconomic reforms. Then the fruit will going to be, I think soon, will gain from the fruits of the macroeconomic reform, I think. So we need to contribute our stake.
Mr. Gullat Ababa, thank you for your time and a deep insight on our program.
Thank you.
Dear viewers, that's all what we have for this edition. See you next time with another program. Till then, bye bye, take care.